It's Sunday, and I'm moving in 2 days. And maybe I should be waiting until Monday to start this vlog, because I've tried to start it several times now, and I keep not being satisfied with the recording. I keep swerving off into other topics, and I just end up getting rid of the recordings. It's not about moving today. It's about getting this job done that most weeks I would have done by now. A lot of times I get it like Thursday night or Friday morning, and then I pour myself into it, getting it done. Usually sometimes Saturday, maybe even Friday, because I want it done. I mean, it's due by the end of the weekend, but I want it done, I want to have it taken care of so I don't have to worry about it all weekend. Unfortunately, this weekend, things didn't happen that way. It didn't get to me until so late last night. All I really had the energy to do was move it from where they sent it to where I need to transcribe it. And now I haven't even started the transcription. So today's going to be about transcribing that, and it's going to be about... I have something that I bought, and now I realize that I just don't want it, and it's taking up too much space. There's not a proper place to put it in these apartments. They're too small. And for a while I had a storage unit. My plan was to have it there, but I'm not keeping the storage unit. The storage unit's too expensive, and it's just... Well, the storage unit was pissing money away anyway. I didn't even think of it that way, but the bottom line is, I can't get that money back. I can't turn back time and make it so I didn't buy the item or rent the storage unit, but I can get rid of both of them. There's someone who wants the bigger item, but I've been texting them saying, let me know when you know what you're able to do as far as getting that. And then I abruptly found out I was moving and texted them and said, surprise, I'm moving pretty quickly. Do you think you're going to be able to come get it by the time I'm moving? No answer. I'm going to have to just call them. What's the plan for getting it out of here? I'm tired of thinking about it and talking about it. It's time to do something about it. And the first part of doing something about it is me waiting for a decent time. I'm not going to drag this person out of bed at almost 7 o'clock in the morning, but waiting for a decent time and then making a phone call. That's what's going to be necessary. Okay. It's 2 days before the move, and I have to do my job and build a foundation for either establishing that this person still wants this and getting a plan made, or establishing that they don't and telling the movers, just junk that thing, or if there's a place you can donate it, whatever, but I don't want it. I want it out of my life. I thought I wanted it. It served me for a little while during the fleeting amount of time that I was actually using it. Now I'm not using it. It's taking up space that really doesn't exist in my apartment. I'm running into it more than I'm using it, and I want it out of here. Whether that's into a friend's home or, I don't know, donated to some place where it can serve someone else. I don't know, but I want it out of here. I am not going to vlog it, but I am finally going to get rid of this. I called this person. I called her. She's like, I can come over now if you want me to. I'm like, that'd be great. If you or you and a friend or somebody can come get this thing out of here, I would like to have it out of my life before I have to move it back to the other place with me. She's like, totally, I'll be right there to pick it up. So yeah, I'm not going to vlog it, but by the time the movers get here on Tuesday, they won't even have to lug that thing anywhere. It's Monday. I never did close out Sunday. I no longer have the treadmill to worry about, and I was able to finish my work. What needed to be done yesterday got done. So now it's about doing what has to be done today, which is I've got a work meeting. I'd like to go to this other meeting I have at 12 o'clock, and then there's a work shift. The work shift and the meeting overlap. They start at the same time. I'm going to talk to I don't know if you would call her my boss. She's, I guess, one of my bosses. If you're familiar with the ladder of a business, like you have your team lead, then you have your, like, department supervisor, I guess, and then you have, like, their supervisor. I think this person would amount to my team lead. I'm going to talk to my team lead and see if I can go to both. If not, I'll choose probably work. But, because I have a high work ethic. It's a learning process to prioritize yourself. Especially when, for most of your life, you've been taught that you don't matter as much as everybody else does. And your work and everyone else is all that matters. Well, after holding myself to those standards for 23 years or longer, I now realize that you can't do everything for everyone else before you do something for yourself. So, I'm hoping to be able to go to this thing for myself. If I'm not able to, I'm not able to, but I definitely have the work meeting, that's first. Then hopefully the other meeting, then I'll show up to the work shift. Then if there's anything else I need to do as far as packing, I either need to do that around now or after all of that. Because Tuesday the movers are coming and I'm out of here. And like I said, I've been assured that this time the building's actually done being built, or at least the first floor is, so I should be good to actually settle in and stay there this time. I said I was going to do a moving vlog, but I haven't been vlogging. It's moving day at 10:10 a.m. and when I moved from this place before it was being reconstructed to here, and then from here back to that place back when we thought it was done and it wasn't, I had heard from the relocation team representative by now. I haven't, so I called my contact and said, what's going on? And he said, let me call and find out what their story is and get back to you. So I don't necessarily care. I mean, if it's not going to be till, like, you know, whatever time later, I mean, as long as I get there with enough time to, like, check in with the apartment manager, get keys, you know, I think I'd be okay with it. But I had expected to hear from somebody by now. I would have expected a knock on the door. Yeah. So please let this work out smoothly. And I'm a little nervous because I'm dealing with someone I'm not familiar with. I was hoping that it would be the same person that it had been the past couple of times, but my contact has warned me that it won't be. So now I'm going to have to trust this stranger to do what I need them to do. I am going to sit here and wait for my phone call. Is there anything else I need to pack up while I'm over here? Everything's going to need to be packed up, but how much else do I care about so much that I want to be the one to pack it? Because the more you leave to movers, the more you have no idea what they did with what, and, like, at least if you packed it, like, you have an idea of where it ended up, or, like, the most important things I want to carry in my backpacks, like, and have with me. And the second most important things I have in backpacks that I may or may not be able to carry with me, but at least I packed it. I know it's not in one of these endless boxes. I know it's in one of these things with zippers that I packed. It's just a matter of making sure that they all get in the house, get in the same area, and I know that I will find, eventually when I get into one of those 6, 7, 8 bags, I will find what I'm looking for. That's what happens when I pack it myself. When I say whatever, I'll let the movers deal with it. God knows where it'll end up, and somehow it'll materialize eventually, likely. But yeah. The things that I want that to happen least with, I'm the one that's going to take responsibility for packing. In fact, there's one thing I think of in particular that I knew I didn't want it to just disappear, but I didn't know if I really had a place for it. Now I can think of a place for it, so I'm going to go pack it myself. This is going to get packed by me. I wish I'd get this phone call so I could quit talking about anything and everything, just so that I can pick this call up without having to turn it on and then wait 10 seconds. By the time I turn this thing on and then confirm that it's recording and then wait 10 seconds, he will have gone to voicemail. I'm not going to let that happen. Let me just sit here and relax for a minute. Well, at the rate we're going, I'm going to make it to my morning meeting anyway. Maybe I'm not going to start the move until the afternoon, which, okay, well, as long as you've got keys. As far as packing, I think most of my stuff that means the absolute most to me has been packed by me, so as long as everything gets out of the moving truck from the things that I packed, we'll be good. Some of them probably won't even go in the, last time oh shoot. Does that have to get packed there? I don't know. I'm thinking that, bigger case that I found, it's a wonderful case for me to pack stuff in, but I'm afraid it's probably going to end up in the moving truck. I don't know if... I'm thinking about something else that I hadn't packed yet. I'm going to go pack that. I really want to find a place to pack it in my... I may have to relocate some things to that other place and put that in one of the better bags for that. Water's a good thing. Always drink water. I never used to drink water. When I was a kid, when I was even 20s and 30s, I did not like to drink water. I'm so glad I now drink water. It's a good thing. And if you don't like the taste of tap water like me, there's bottled water or filtered water in some way. You can get water in other ways than the sink if you don't like the water that comes out of the sink. There is nothing wrong with not liking the water that comes out of the sink. There's nothing wrong with being yourself. I don't know who needs to hear this, but I have for a long time. You might not have been taught that it was okay to be who you were. But in the real world, maybe it's not okay to be who you are, but it's okay to create your own little corner of the world where if you're being you, it's okay. That's what I'm in the process of doing. And the hub of that world, the hub of that little corner of the world, is this apartment building that I'm moving to today, specifically my apartment. And that's going to stay the location of my little corner of the world until I'm ready to move it to the state I grew up in, near relatives that, first of all, I think understand me better than most of my family, and to the extent that they don't, we just won't talk about those things. And I will not live with them, but I'll live close enough to them that if I need them, they can come over and help me. But when I don't, they're close enough to talk to, but they're able to go to their place and leave me at mine.
10:36 a.m. and 47 seconds.
Well, if I don't hear from them in like 25 minutes, I'm going to have to go to my work meeting, and if I hear from them, I'll just have to tell you about it, because I don't think I'm going to be able to pick it up if I get it during my work meeting. Because I'm not vlogging my work meeting, period. End of sentence, end of story. And if the call comes in during my work meeting, I could mute out and take it, but see, normally I wouldn't do that, but this is too important. Like, I should not be working this week. I really shouldn't. As soon as I found out this was happening on Friday, which, by the way, have I mentioned that 5 days is not a lot of notice? I mean, don't. If you do these kinds of, make these kind of arrangements, don't leave people with 5 days notice. I mean, they have to set their life up so that that can happen. But as soon as I found out on Friday that this was happening, I probably should have sent notes to all my chat spaces, which this particular group doesn't even have a chat space. I hope somebody does something about that. I'm going to have to probably say something to someone about that. I should have put a note into all my chat spaces saying, hey, I just found out that I'm moving next week. Don't count on me. I'll show up to what I can, but there's a whole nother video to make, another discussion to have about, can I even handle work and a big thing like that at the same time? I mean, should I have just taken this week off? Maybe I should have, but this meeting could be pretty important, depending on whether or not a certain individual arrives to the meeting. And if that person shows up, I want to be there to participate in the discussion. Is that what I hope it is?
Your chance to win 100,000 bonus miles.
Really? No, it's not.
10:39 a.m. and 56 seconds.
I'm waiting for an email, and I'm getting every email but that. And I'm waiting for a phone call, and it's not coming in. Waiting. In case I haven't made it clear what I'm doing, I love Reed so much, aka my Braille Sense U2, my older Braille Sense that I'm vlogging with today. I'm using him as a vlogging camera. And I love him so much, but there are some things about him that are just the way they are. They're not going to be fixed. The only way to fix them is to either use Sammy, my Braille Sense 6, or one of my other devices. Really, Victor Reader Stream is maybe better, but anyway, in some regards it's better, in some regards it isn't. But the point is, the problem with Reed and using him as a vlogging camera is I can hit record to activate the media player. I can hit record again to confirm that yes, I want to record, and he takes 5 or 10 seconds to actually start recording. Now, if I hear my phone ringing and say record, he's still going to sit here taking 5-10 seconds to start recording, and I'll be in the middle of a conversation by that time. If I'm going to vlog this conversation to whatever extent I feel comfortable vlogging it, I need this recorder on when the phone rings. And I talked to this guy like 40 minutes ago. I don't know why it's taking him so long to call me back, but I'm trying to facilitate vlogging that call. But again, if I don't hear from him in
10:46 a.m. and 17 seconds.
15, 14 minutes, maybe even less, I may have to turn this off and go to my meeting. But the positive in this is I'm going to make it to this meeting. Even if I have to show up and then suddenly say, you know what, the relocation team guy finally showed up, or the relocation team guy that I'm talking to is calling, I have to mute out and deal with this. At least I can show up, I can say, hey, I'm in the middle of this, but this was a priority to me, so I showed up. I can say I showed up. I can be there if the other person shows up. And if they don't, I can still be there. At least I can be there. You know, it's time worked, and it's me showing that I give a damn about my job. and about trying to do what I think is right for our students. I'm not comfortable discussing what the situation is, but I am comfortable saying that I work at a local community college, in case you wondered where I work at or what I do. I have several casual jobs. By casual, it means doable from home, not a whole lot of restrictions, although one of my jobs is developing some more structure to it. And it's the job that I care the most about, so I'm going to adhere to it. But I have a technology job that I don't mind going to the meetings, but I don't like the actual job itself. But it's a way to make money, so I'll do it I'll do it as much as I have to. I have another job, or at least in theory I have another job. There's some clarification that needs to happen here with that job. I haven't done enough of the job yet. I haven't had enough experience with that to know whether I like it or not. I think I could like it. When I accepted the job, I was like, well, I'm going to like it more than the tech job, so yeah, I'll take it. And then the other job, the job that means the most to me, where I create content for, I create audio content, or I will be creating audio content. I'll be on a team of people. I am on a team of people who create audio content. Basically, we create a podcast, we create radio shows, we create content. And when I accepted that job, I accepted it because actually what happened was I sought that job out. I talked to my manager, I said, what's the story with this little sub-department of the department that we work for, I guess, is what it is. That's my work calendar telling me that I have that meeting in 10 minutes. So the positive thing is I'm going to make it to that meeting. I asked my manager, what is the story with that? I might be interested in checking that out. And he said, well, if you want to check that out, here's the person you need to talk to. So I reached out to her. She loved the idea of me joining the team. We talked. I came to my first meeting. And 2 months later, I had a heart-to-heart with my manager and said, I want a job doing this. I'm not saying I want to quit either of the other jobs, but I want a job doing this. I feel like that's where my passion really is. And he said, okay, I'll get that set up for you. And he talked to the person that he needed to talk to get me a job in that little sub-department. And I'm so happy about it. There's some growing pains as we've had some changes, but I'm happy about that job. It's the kind of muddy job, meaning it's unclear, do I really even have the job? I don't have a timesheet for it. And what is the job? Like, what? Maybe I need to have a word with the manager. I'd love to say, maybe I need to have another word with my manager, but I have a different manager now. My manager that I talked to before is indefinitely out of the office, and that person's duties have been taken over by a different person. And maybe I need to have a word with a different person and say, hey, do I have a job in this sub-department or don't I? Oh, there's a lot of confusion. I just think that we need to get some clarification. And I think that the manager needs to be aware of some things, which is why this meeting is so important to me, because I reached out to the manager, I invited her to this meeting, and especially if she shows up, I want to be a part of that discussion. And
10:53 a.m. and 16 seconds.
it's 7 minutes away from... I'm going to stop this vlog and start it again after my meeting, and I guess bring you up to speed. I've been wanting to catch this phone call, but I can't sit here waiting for it anymore. Okay. I never did get that phone call, but I got a knock on the door in the middle of my meeting. But you know what? It's okay. That was a great meeting that needed to happen, and I was able to be here for it in spite of the fact that I'm moving, and now they're probably going to be here any minute.
11:48 a.m. and 59 seconds.
They're going to be here any minute to start the process of like packing that which I haven't packed. Let me see if there's anything else that there's other stuff that I can be packing. Let me take care of that. I don't really think I'm going to be able to vlog much during the process, but I'll check in later. Hopefully when we're at my place, and I'm confident that this is good to go this time. I'm ready to move on. The Uber's going to make us wait for 17 minutes. Okay, we're good to go. I'm at my new place now, and even though there's still like a lot of boxes, I mean, most of the really important things got unpacked, even though, of course, there's always something that I think, well, I wish I had either packed that myself or thought to ask them, okay, what about this or that? Of course, yeah. Anyway, I think this place is good to go now. I'm gonna feel even better about it when my teacher from the Commission for the Blind comes over tomorrow and reorients me with the place. And yeah, tomorrow's just going to be about getting familiar with the place and calling all my services and saying, hey, I've moved. Here's my new address. Actually, it's the address you had 4 years ago. It's just I've been at a different address for the past year and a half. Now I'm back where I was the first time. So, with that said, I'm going to go ahead and wrap up this moving vlog. Thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you in the next video. Bye.